Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Arayeh, your rapid transformational coach in personal development, conscious parenting, and relationships. And we have been trying so hard to go live. So like we can have you live, read your comments and all those things, but we couldn't do that. Sorry. So we're going to record it now. I'm having Herky today. Hi, Herky. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited for us to talk about joy and meditation and your secrets. I want you to share with my audience and myself how you find joy in your life. So first, I want you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit how you came to this path of awakening and joy and peace and grace. And then tell me what's your passion, your mission, your vision in life, and then we can go from there.
Sure. Thanks, Arayeh, for having me first. So basically, my name is Herky. I grew up in India. When I was about 20 years old, I moved to the US with my family and my siblings. I went on the trajectory of, ambition and corporate and, like a good Asian kid. And I was in finance and project management. I have 3 children. This year, they will be 8, 12, and 16. And while I was successful in my career and I did take breaks also in between as I was raising my children, and I also homeschooled my children. This is pre-COVID, for a little
Wow.
bit here and there. Yeah, I truly enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed the experience, especially with Waldorf homeschooling and other things that I was doing. But my heart and soul was always in seeking and meditation and finding meaning in life, and I was always drawn towards that. Of course, growing up in India gave me a background of and a wealth of knowledge, I would say, wisdom to tap into. And my parents were also, deeply into this. So, and I have been exposed to a lot of religions personally in my life, as well as, teachings beyond the religions. So, um, how I came to, for me, it was more about initially like trying to find peace, happiness, joy, like we all do.
Yes.
And then going beyond those things too, and living a purposeful life. So yeah, that's pretty much about my summary.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you have been a meditator by nature
Yeah.
because you were born and raised in India, of course. And then just one quick question here. So how, like as a child, I know that you were immersed into that culture, but did it come natural to you, or you
Yeah.
were supposed to meditate and that was just kind of a duty for you? But was it a natural flow for you?
So luckily, it was not any kind of force. My parents were never the kind who would like forcefully take us anywhere or make us do anything. But I would say the inclination was always there. Of course, I was in school and I was very ambitious of trying to get good grades. I was also trying to play the part of being a good girl and, all those things. And in college, there were lots of questions. So I guess, but I know that from the poetry I read from when I was 16 and from when I was 12 and 14, I did have a very deep inclination. Maybe I didn't have the words, and I think the words have only come very recently. There is this unknown truth, unknown seeking that's always there. So whether it's just gazing at the moon from my window and preferring to stay in solitude or just sitting under a tree, there was different forms, connecting to soulful music. And sometimes I remember my dad, he took us to some kind of meditation place. And initially I was in college and I found it a bit weird. That place was, they were doing all this dancing and movement and meditation and stuff. And my dad was in the military and army. So I always saw him like a soldier, like man. And then he was also doing, going along with them. And I was like, what is he, doing and what's happening? And as a I was in my 18, 17, 18-year old, but I know that the experience really touched me very deeply. Somewhere even I wanted to just shed, just be, and just not, I would say the beingness and the environment itself felt so like I didn't need to do anything. It's almost felt effortless to be in that
Wow.
presence. Yeah.
Wow, you were
Um,
so lucky.
I
People,
can say yes.
yeah, people
Yeah.
usually go through hardship and disease and accidents and all sorts of things to come to this understanding that just being, that's what we need. Doesn't matter what we are striving for outside, it's not going to make us happy. It's just that the real joy is inside. But you
Is
got it like
within.
really from your family, from your culture. It was so smooth and
Yeah.
effortless, as you said. That's beautiful.
Yes. And to answer your question about hardships, and also I would say the foundation was laid and I was blessed to have that I could go back to it. But then again, I think when I was at the lowest point, which often is, the most fruitful time for us to evolve, um, at that point, it was very active. Here it was like absorbing, passive, taking it in, and having fun with it or leaving it, or just going along. But during my very low point in my life, and trying in my hardship, I would say that I found my yearning became very deep to find out how to find this eternal joy, or first step is how to get out of misery. Let's say when we are in the doldrums, we're like, get me out of this shit. We're not really talking of divinity and everything, but and then it is like I want to be it was like almost being guided into I was lucky to again be exposed. So here I became like made efforts to go to various retreats in India. As by then I had already moved here, but I went back to India, learned from some spiritual masters, and also attended some retreats here, some courses, got exposed to Dr. Shafali and many other wisdom teachers, and tried to absorb the teachings and implement them. Because yes, knowledge we all have plenty, but putting them into practice and making them our own is what really makes the difference. So
Yes, that's true.
yeah.
So, tell us about people who are not familiar with meditation and these contemplative practices. What is the first step, as you said, to release suffering first,
Right.
and to start the journey on a more effortless way rather than just striving and
Yeah.
what is your best tip to go about this journey more effortlessly?
Yeah, I think there are many paths to begin this journey. And everyone can, sometimes self reflection really helps in terms of when we go to a mindful path, for example, and we raise our self awareness as to what's going on in my mind. How is my mind creating so much suffering versus me blaming external situations, circumstances, people, playing the role of victim? How do I move past trauma? How do I manage my own mind? um, those kind of teachings are very helpful in terms of detaching from thoughts. So when you are a doctor, and in psychology, and all about thoughts and feelings and emotions, how they dictate literally our behavior or personality. And so I usually find two ways. For example, when it comes to thought, it's like it's running. When you don't have the self-awareness, you build up the self-awareness. And meditation is one place where when you sit, you are right now with yourself and nowhere else to go. And during my meditation, I often, when I lead meditation, I tell people, guided meditation, I'm here, there's nowhere to go, nothing to do. And that like sort of puts their mind, and you're just observing the thoughts coming and going. You just A lot of people complain, what, I can't do meditation, it's too much, I can't be without thoughts, or they have all these myths around meditation. And then I tell them, well, this is, and initially, just because if you are new to the practice, you will be bombarded by thoughts, because it's not used to it, and the mind is telling you, the monkey mind is telling you, hey, come on, and you're being presented with this, and then you're like, what is this madness going on? And then you're getting frustrated. So then it's a practice for you to sit with your body too. Your body is experiencing discomfort, wherein you're twitching, you're moving your back hurts, and you don't want to. Yeah,
Scratch.
I want to. Yeah, exactly. You will remember everything. I want to scratch here, or I'm thinking this thought, or. And sometimes people come with creative answers. They're like, I had a brilliant idea, so I have to get up from the meditation because the thought will go away. So for people who are beginning, keep your expectations very low. Like start with something that's not going to create more misery for you. Do 2 3 5 whatever is the number, and you can go with breath. I do sound a lot because I feel like especially the kind of music I have, it just puts people into a very relaxed
Yeah.
ambiance, and just helps them to de-stress and just come. But it should not, nothing should become a handicap, whether you use sound, or you use, some people will use a stone, or you have an image, or you pray, or whatever. And even if you have nothing, so there are many times I used to just meditate waiting for the bus to come for my children, and just sitting at the
Mhm.
bus stop and finding moments here and there, or even in my corporate lunch break, finding those. You can find those moments everywhere. You can have a dedicated practice too, and you can find moments here and there always.
Meditative living, yes.
Correct. And there is beauty in having a little bit of, initially when you're not used to it, to having a dedicated practice. I always tell people, like, have a space that you can call your own, even if even if you're in New York City and you have no place. And my sister gives me those excuses, and I tell her, no, you can just set up a little corner on your yeah, like right here, and
Under.
just because yeah, or just a pillow. It doesn't matter, but you've created a space and you've becoming intentional about it. Um, you walk into your living room, and you walk into your TV room, you can watch TV. You walk into your kitchen, you get food there. So you get acclimated. Your mind also knows, okay, this is the space, this is my zen space, whatever you do it. And sometimes you have small children. Even when I was raising children, whenever I would meditate, they would definitely, it's now like I'm so used to them hopping and jumping, now they're a little older, that I think that was an advanced level practice, monk level practice, because they would, children would be children, and that was not the time. Like my spiritual teacher used to say, if while you're meditating and then you tell children, dare you, if you're doing this, then really you're losing the essence of it.
Double
So
standards.
exactly. So yeah, so those are like some of the things. That is one path. I know that people have mixed views on prayers and God, but whatever you want to believe in, universe or divinity, I am actually very much into that, wherein I want to go beyond. I believe in an intelligence beyond, and I use the word God, and uh, I want to, at a point in my time, like surrender. I want to do my actions, excuse me, and then surrender and just let it be, not micromanage my life so much that I lose the beauty of it. Right, just to go with the flow. It has tremendously helped me in my life. I've tried other things too, because I
Does,
am from a,
does. I agree. I agree.
yeah,
I
and I
agree.
am from a logical, analytical, financial background. So I've tried living that life. Oh my God, it just
Doesn't work. Too much.
it
Too much.
doesn't,
Yeah.
yeah. So, or whether they take that path, or also we can, and it's usually a combination of the paths. Another way is like whatever actions you're doing in the world. And this comes from a lot of, teachings in the East and stuff, where your actions become, your work becomes your
Topic
meditation,
on meditation. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So you're so immersed in it without attaching to the, outcome of that work. You're just in it. So there are varied paths to live a life that make us go within rather than seeking outside, like the pleasures, and which always go up and down,
Mm-hmm.
but seeking eternal
Conditional.
and,
Yes.
yeah, conditional. Exactly, the dependency is there. Yeah.
I love
So
that.
yeah.
I remember I saw this video by this punk. I don't remember his name. It's actually I know him, but his name is so difficult. I never remember. So
Mhm.
he's really funny. He says, this mind is like a monkey mind. You want to give it banana. So what is banana? The coffee drink, that's the banana. You just pay attention to the coffee. So that's meditative living. Just
Mhm.
detaching from those thoughts and just knowing. It's beautiful because I'm a meditator of 30 years. Okay. 30 years, but I've done
Wow.
like mantra meditation. But it was just recently, after like 5 6 years ago, when I started doing my research, my PhD research on mindfulness. So that was the topic of my
Mm.
dissertation. The dissertation was mindfulness. And I was reading these papers like John Kabat-Zinn. I'm like, what are they talking about? I still didn't know that we have so many thoughts. And it's actually called mind wandering. So we have like an average 50,000 thoughts a day. And until I did mindful breathing and mindfulness meditation, I didn't know. And little by little, my brain learned to detach from these thoughts and come back, as you said, to breath or the tea, you're drinking, or the scenery you're seeing. So we're using our five senses as well as our body sensations to pull ourselves to the present moment. So that's how, as you said, you don't want to just sit and then after you got to go up. That will be double standards. So we want to say, okay, the child is throwing a tantrum. I'm watching, I'm detaching. So we want to have that. We want to carry that mechanism to daily life. Beautiful. So Herky, go ahead.
It brings an element of acceptance too. It automatically trains you to because the child is creating a tantrum, and whatever decision you decide, whether you decide to get up or attend to the child or whatever, you start getting an element of acceptance, which is so important, right? Versus resisting to what is coming at you. And I think Eckhart talks about this so well, wherein whatever situation is coming to you, your acceptance does not mean that you've resigned to it or you're like giving up. It means that this is what it is. This is the isness of the moment. Now, what do I want to do about it is the next step. But really, as long as we're fighting, and recently I had this too, I had a little difficulty. Sometimes, how the thoughts, you spoke about 50, I heard 60, but whatever the number being, and most of them being negative, as you know that. And I had, and sometimes to break it, like, so for my children, they don't like to listen to my spiritual stuff. So they want some logical answers. So I will tell them, like my daughter was having, and I said, what if, like, we use so much what ifing, right? What if this goes wrong? And that's where the anxiety springs from. What will happen? What if this happens? What if that happens? And then your nervous system and everything happens. But I told her, okay, why don't you switch your what if? Because it's always a 50-50. Why don't you just switch your what if to something that may help you?
More positive.
And since the likelihood is the same, and like a likelihood is half and half. So then she said, oh, Mom, and how with your own children, you can preach to the world, but with your own children, it's a different story.
Exactly.
And so she said, I took the dog out, and she gets a little bit of anxiety, and she's 16, so, and she, loves her dog and stuff, but he's a little hyper. So every time she takes out, anytime she sees people coming, she keeps thinking, what if he starts jumping? What if he starts jumping and creating this? And she's like, I was walking and I said, what if nothing happens? What if he does behave? What if I'm able to handle it? That's another thing. I, tell her to come up with their own thing. And I always tell them, what if you can handle it? What if the worst does happen and you can handle it? And she's like, oh my God, Mom, I had the best experience. I mean, you have those kind of feedback, especially from your own children. It's like so rewarding that you were able to manage your mind at that time. And even for me, like we're talking about resistance. So I was in an interview or something, or, I was a little bit anxious about something that was going on a while back. And I was, now that you meditate and you do this and you start having some standards for yourself, which is a mistake, you start thinking that, oh, why am I, you're basically rejecting, why are you even feeling so anxious and fearful and stuff? And then I'm like, just embracing the fear at that moment, that I'm a human being and I am experiencing fear at this time, and witnessing, and like in Buddhism they call about the second arrow, the first one is the suffering, and second one what we make out of it and add additional pain to it. But so it's a constant, you're alert of what's going on. You don't let the mind, they say, is a beautiful servant but a terrible master. So sometimes it takes over, and you just like you come back to the breath. You have all these tools with you, and then of course
I love the reframing. The what if is perfect, especially for kids, and it's very empowering, right? So the thoughts, first of all, we have to be aware that the reason we're anxious is the thought. We have to have some sort of awareness about that, and meditation, as I said, I think that's, to me, also is very essential. Otherwise we wouldn't know, as I did, like I did mantra meditation and I didn't know about these thoughts still until I did mindful breathing, until I watched my thoughts. So first we have to know we have these thoughts. Second, we have to know this anxiety is caused by an original thought. And third, flip the thought by these tools like what if, or as the work by Byron Katie, I love her. She says, just flip the thought, whatever it is, just flip it. Like, he shouldn't have done that. He should have done that, right? So just by flipping the thought, we are going to change our feelings, right? And then the beautiful. Herky, I want us I want you to guide us through probably 2-3 minutes, because I want people to see that we can access that state in a very short time as well. It's just a matter of training the brain. Can you do that for us today?
Sure. And is it okay now with the music for Zoom, or no? You said.
I think let's not do that, because I'm afraid that of the copyright, they will just delete the video if there is copyright.
Okay, no worries. All right, so let's just sit straight. Let's keep our back straight, nothing stiff, but just straight, our back, neck, and head. Let's take a few deep, maybe three deep breaths. You can inhale and you can exhale and sigh. Just release whatever tension you're carrying. And when you inhale, feel your lungs, feel the air in your nostrils. Just be with your breath. Bring some awareness to a body scan. So feel your toes, your ankles, your calves, knees, thighs, the pelvic region, abdomen, your chest, your arms, your neck, and your face. Relax your facial muscles too. The mind's job is to wander. Let it wander. Stay on the breath. You can feel your breath in either your nostrils, or you may feel it in your chest, or your tummy rising and falling. Let go of all tension and stress that you're holding. Just take this moment to be with yourself. You may catch glimpses of stillness during the meditation, or your mind may wander. That is fine, no expectations. Just try to come back to your breath. These moments of pause, stillness, and meditation are a gift you give to yourself. Relish this gift and honor this time. No matter what's going on the outside, you can always tap into this peace that is within. Your inner peace is always one breath away. Just come back to your breath. You could bring your attention to the palms of your hand, keep them open. You may feel some sensations on your palms, or you may not. It's fine. Just bring your attention to it. Let's conclude with gratitude. And you could make it personal to your life, or you could just be grateful for this time, for this moment, for your breath, for your body, for your loved ones, for your home, for anything. Feel the gratitude. Make a promise to commit a few minutes a day to yourself, to tapping into your own inner peace. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes.
This is so beautiful. Thank you. I have to tell you, because my kids came home and they were slamming the doors over the outside, like, okay, we were saying it doesn't matter what happens in the outside. So I used my breath. I kind of fell through that anxiety, and so it's just real life. I hope our audience.
I think nature is giving us a glimpse of real life, and that's why
I was just smiling. I'm like, oh, this is very interesting. It's just real life. But this was beautiful. Thank you so much. Few minutes just connecting to the body and breath, that will do it. Our brain really needs it, because we are wired for mind wandering, and we need to rewire for peace, as you said, inner acceptance, inner peace. Beautiful.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
It's so beautiful talking to you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best. Okay. Bye now. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.